time to talk about the metaverse, and Mark Shmulik is with us, lead internet analyst at Bernstein, to talk all about this. There's so much to discuss here. Within your note, I think I liked, before we even explain what metaverse is, I would like to talk about who are the beneficiaries, right? The companies that are ahead, such as Facebook, I guess, would go into that category. That's one of the things that you talk about, the players with the head start on the metaverse.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And, I think what's interesting about the metaverse, at least the way we've loosely defined it, is it's just the next evolution in computing and how we access, frankly, the internet, where we've gone from desktop to mobile. And there's a recognition that there's something else coming, hopefully sooner than later. And companies like Meta have certainly made substantial investments to try to not just participate, but play a major role in the evolution to what's next. In terms of the winners in this space, I think the current incumbents that have invested, that have already users, probably put themselves in pole position to capture whatever value is there. But the reality is they're already spending real hard money on things like hardware, things like chips, things like software. So there's already dollars flowing into it. So it's not quite this nebulous concept that may or may not come in the future. There's real hard capital already being put to work.
And we should watch some of these others that are outperforms: Google, Meta, Microsoft, Qualcomm, NVIDIA, Snapchat, T-Mobile, Tencent.
Yeah, look, they're all participating, or at least their executive teams have all mentioned something, around participation, and whether it's fully embracing the term metaverse, which we've certainly heard several companies do, or at least a passing acknowledgement to an understanding that whatever we define the metaverse to be, whether it's participating in the AR glasses, or building out the chipsets for it, or building out kind of hardware and software for enterprise clients. We've certainly seen many companies in the public space effectively publicly state that this is their ambition and a key focus area going forward.
What I think are some of the analogies that you've given us that really just sort of show us that this isn't revolutionary. You say it's evolutionary, and you just mentioned it. You said going from your desktop to using your mobile phone, right? And we're ordering online, for example, or using apps, right? We had one app, then we have 3 apps, then you have 22 apps on your phone, and it's become very day-to-day. And you say this is how we're going to be seeing the evolution of the metaverse as well.
Yeah, that's right. And I think there's this, at least one stream out there that believes the metaverse is all of a sudden, it looks like that movie Ready Player One, where we put our headsets and disappear into our basements. And I think there's a real aversion from others of that type of a future. But the reason why we think it's more evolutionary is that we're already seeing pieces of it take place. Apps like Roblox and Fortnite are already there, where they're creating these virtual worlds. Games like Pokemon Go are already overlaying virtual elements onto our physical world. Devices, certainly the Quest devices, but also Apple Watch, are already hardware that's creating new use cases that we really haven't seen before when we were just contained to experiencing the world through our smartphones. And so to me, it's a combination of all of the above. And, there's not going to be some magic unlock where we're all going to wake up with headsets on, but it's a path towards getting there. And you're going to see all these different types of use cases emerge that just enhance the experience and value of digital in our day-to-day lives.
Right, and we're going to have the vision of working and playing in this virtual world. And there was some breaking news today all about Facebook taking, the headline is they take a step toward building the metaverse, opening the virtual world. This is all about avatars. And I'm sure you heard about it, opening up Horizon Worlds. And as long as you're 18, you can participate. You no longer need an invite to go into the Horizon Worlds beta. This is really important. Is this really big news?
It's certainly big, because I think in Meta's view, the way they see the world evolving, or at least their bet on the metaverse, contains a couple components. One is the hardware, which we certainly have, kind of the Quest. We've seen, the Ray-Ban Stories glasses on their move towards AR, or at least building out, the hardware component of it. They've certainly built and acquired many software studios to build games inside of that environment. But what Horizon really is, it's kind of that meeting place that then allows developers to build features and elements on top of it. And I think, for a lack of a better word, it's kind of like the operating system, for where we're going. And so to me, this is really about an open call to saying, let's get developers to build in this universe. We're not going to figure it out all ourselves, but let's at least provide the platform for others to go do so. And then let's invite the consumers to come along for the ride as well. So it really is their path towards unlocking, at least some of the potential of what we've defined as the metaverse.
And I'm curious to know, maybe you could just sort of single out in these outperforms of Tencent, T-Mobile, Snapchat, NVIDIA, Qualcomm, Microsoft, Meta, and Google. Other than Meta, because we've talked about Meta a lot, what are some of these companies doing right in this world and evolution that leads you to say, hey, these are the outperforms?
Yeah, I think from the names that I cover in that space, the other one that I would call out is actually Snapchat, which is quite interesting because they don't always get mentioned as much when we talk about this path towards the metaverse. But one could argue they've actually been doing this the longest, and their pathway has always been about you open up the application to a camera, and that's how you experience the world. And so for them, where there seems to be a lot of focus and energy on this more immersive virtual reality-like environment, they almost seem to have carved out their own white space in the augmented reality, right? Putting on the spectacles and being able to experience virtual elements on top of our physical world. So they've kind of carved out a unique space, and they've certainly already been building plenty of AR lenses and filters on top of it that users already use today.
All right. Well, thank you. All about the metaverse hype. We thank you. And we just got to wait for it day by day. Mark Schmulek, Bernstein, thank you very, very much. Nice to see you. Thanks.